Welcome back, Goldberg. The bigger return.
We're back.
We're back. Standard roll.
Fuck Bill Goldberg, bro. Why is it I fucking have gone for 35 fucking days? I come back congested as a motherfucker, and it's him. Like, look, I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I knew this was the plan. It's been, I mean, quite obvious he's gonna face Goldberg in Atlanta for a while. Sure, whatever. Fuck, man. Fuck.
Listen, I'm probably in the minority on it, but I've been saying it for ages now. I've been saying it literally since Goldberg said he was going to have another match. Goldberg Gunther. That is the match. It has to be the match. I actually like it. It does not have to be for the championship. They put the title on Gunther any day of the week. Gunther can win the championship every day for the rest of eternity. I'm happy. It didn't have to be for the title, though. I don't know. It's a little odd that it's for the title. It's a little reminiscent of that Vince era, tail end of that Vince regime where, they were putting the championship on whoever. But the match itself, I mean, Goldberg's nearing 60. I don't expect a whole lot.
Walk,
Yeah, I don't expect a whole lot. I don't think Gunther's hitting any power bombs this match, But I'm a big fan of Gunther. You're a big fan of Gunther. This is a Gunther Stan account. Anything to put Gunther up another level. And I realize Goldberg's not the greatest wrestler to ever live. Blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of name value to Goldberg. Goldberg is a big name in wrestling. I think this is a good way to kind of level up Gunther. Gunther's the guy that not only retires Goldberg, but hopefully embarrasses him in his retirement. That's what I'm hoping for here. I want Goldberg to destroy this guy.
Here's the thing. I would have that same hope. They didn't have him do that with Pat McAfee. They're not going to have him do that with Goldberg.
You would think. See, I view it in the way of them doing weird ass booking. They wouldn't do it with McAfee, but then they would do it with Goldberg. Is kind of the way I think about it. But they're probably not gonna. It's probably gonna be Goldberg in a little bit of offense. Gunther hits a clothesline or two, throws him in a sleeper. I don't expect anything too crazy. It's also Saturday night's main event. The matches on all the Saturday night's main event cards thus far have not been 30-minute matches, even with the best of superstars. This is going to be a 5 to at maximum 10-minute match. Goldberg retires. It's probably a good draw for Saturday night's main event, by the way. That's probably great for them to have Goldberg on that card.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is just, it's all about Gunther. Gunther main eventing Saturday night's main event again. That's him getting booed through the entire city of Atlanta as he stands there over Goldberg's lifeless body, holding his title high, hopefully barely with a sweat broken. I mean, I texted you.
Yeah.
I've been adamant that I don't give a fuck about Goldberg. I've been adamant about that. But to me, you have the segment. Gunther's just selling without saying anything. He's so fucking good, man. This shit's beneath him, but whatever.
Gunther's the GOAT. He's the absolute GOAT. Like you said, he's selling it without even having to sell it. They're just the expressions, the look on his face help sell Goldberg as a potential threat. Now, I did see a fun statistic. I don't even know if this is true or not, but we'll run with it. Goldberg is something and 0 at Saturday night main events, 13, 14, and 0 I'm seeing. I have no clue if that's true at all. It doesn't even add up to me. But it led me to just think to myself, what if he were to win?
I quit, dude. I quit. Yeah. If they actually had Goldberg beat Gunther, and look, I'm not saying like say fucking Gunther got DQ'd or some bullshit. Like I'm not saying like that. Like if Goldberg actually beat Gunther, a la Fiend, Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler loss to Goldberg in WWE's fashion, of course.
Yeah.
Referencing WWE wrestlers. I think I would be nonstop 24/7 the video of Josh Peck. We fucking hate Triple H. Like I think I would become anti WWE.
That would be
Every
a bad
WWE thing
one.
that I
Yeah.
own, W going upside down like the Miz. Like
Yeah. No, I
anti.
mean, and I'm not as anti. Listen, like if I had the option, I would have not had Goldberg come back at all, of course, if it was up to me. But whatever. He's gonna come back, he's gonna do one more. This is the match. But it doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to be for the championship. If Goldberg were to win the championship, yeah, that's going upside down real quick. Yeah, that would be crazy. But it seems wildly unlikely. Hopefully, it's the retirement of Goldberg. I also think, too, we haven't had the chance to go back and forth too much because you were away for so long. But I think Gunther is going to be kind of transitional here. I think they're booking Gunther the same way they booked Jay, where Jay got like that one win over Logan Paul. I think Gunther's going to get that one win over Goldberg, maybe one more match, maybe another rematch against Jay or somebody. But then I think he's losing the belt. I don't think he's going to have a crazy run here.
Yeah, I think as we can tell with Rollins having Money in the Bank and there still being a mix of Rollins, Zayn, Jey Uso, like all
Mm-hmm.
still in that world title realm. I mean, Gunther literally calling out Rollins.
Yeah.
I think it's very likely we get, maybe Zayn wins King of the Ring and faces Gunther for the title, and there's the Rollins cash in, or maybe they run Jay Gunther again. Like I don't know. It seems that the long title reign would be Rollins again. Like that just as much as I mean I obviously wouldn't be upset about Rollins winning the title. Uh I would love Gunther to be that longest reigning champion. I don't think it'll happen.
No.
It seems quite clear that this trio is going to be like Rollins world champion, Bronson and Braun Breaker as the tag champions, and they just
Yeah.
start to run Raw. That seems to be it. But a little side note, not to get us too off track. I'm exhausted, by the way. I'm still all fucked up from my travel. Uh, love Penta being in the mix. Love
Yep.
that. Sign
Yep.
me up for Reed. Uh, you know, Reed Rollins and Breaker against
Mm-hmm.
Penta, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso. Like that
Or LA Knight.
or LA Knight. Yeah, like any of those
Yeah, you can
combinations.
sub
Obviously,
anybody in.
Cody's in the mix, whatever.
Yeah.
Any of those, sign me up.
Yeah. Well, see, honestly, this might sound a little odd, but where I see it going is Sammy could win against Orton and then gets in that final match against Cody or Jay. But then I don't think Sammy wins because they hinted tonight at the future Sammy cross match. So I don't quite see Sammy going on to SummerSlam and then they delay Sammy versus Karrion all the way until who knows when, unless they run that at Saturday night's main event, Sammy versus Cross. And then maybe that's part of like the turn for Sammy. I don't know where the Sammy Cross stuff is going. Maybe he's turning heel at the end of this. I really don't know. But I can honestly see this ending with Orton versus Jay and Orton winning and getting a rematch against Cena or going Gunther again, which is a rematch as well. But I don't know why. I can just see Jay in the literal title picture right now is on its way out. He's going to take a little bit of a back burner. Cody needs to gain that win back. He very well just wins
I
and
think he
goes on
does.
against SummerSlam. Don't get me
I
wrong,
think he does.
but there's always that idea that they're trying to delay the inevitable Cody win towards the end of the year, and they love trilogies. I wouldn't be surprised if Cody versus Cena happens again at SummerSlam and then again down the line, but we'll see.
Yeah, I if I had to bet, I'd bet on Cody. Zayn, I mean, now it just feels more likely that Cross just costs Zayn the
Yeah.
match.
Yep.
Uh, but I mean, look, I love Cross Zayn. I love that story. I know people have shit on it. People were shitting on it being a potential Mania match. Like,
People are
oh,
ridiculous.
they were fucking shitting on it, and now they love Cross.
I
They
know.
were shitting on it. They said it was a fucking downgrade, and now they love Cross. Just had to get that off my chest. We have always liked him, and we've always been
Always.
supportive. I think more than likely that's going to end up being maybe it's a Saturday night's main event match,
Mm-hmm.
but I would assume it's going to be like a Monday Night Raw match. I would love it on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, that's a big spot for carrying, to be honest.
Yeah,
A Sammy match nowadays, it kind of sounds crazy, but that's like a big spot for a guy that's really been on the undercard for a while. So hopefully for Cross, it means
I
more.
I can't believe I like it just completely forgot about all of social media shitting
Shitting.
on Sammy versus Cross. And now they all fucking love Cross,
Well,
rightfully so,
shitting
because
on
he's
Cross.
good.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been
Yeah.
great. He has one of the best NXT Black and Gold runs that anybody had. He was great in TNA as Killer Cross prior to that. People are still shitting on him. I still see fucking tweets about him. Oh, this guy can't wrestle. He's good on one promo doesn't mean anything. It's so, oh my God, the hypocrisy amongst wrestling fans kills me sometimes. That was what, like 3 months ago, you guys
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah.
cut this guy.
Yeah.
And now we're like, oh my God, he's not in the king of the fucking ring. He's not gonna
Yeah.
win the
Yeah.
championship. Cry me a fucking river. God, this is gonna be a great podcast this week. I'm telling you.
There's so much to catch up on. I like, admittedly so, have not watched live. The only I've watched one match live. Or no, I've watched three matches live in the last month before tonight's Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
The women's Money in the Bank match and like two matches from Worlds Collide.
So now that's probably the least watched wrestling since when for you? Like, when was the last time you've watched that little? Like 20 fucking plus years?
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
for a month stretch, my
maybe
entire life.
never. Yeah, like literally
That's
never.
not even like a joke. My entire life, I've never gone. I was gone for 35 days.
Yeah,
I have never gone
that
to
long.
watch that little live.
Yeah,
I kept up with it. I'd,
of course.
peep a match here or there, whatever. But that little. And I come back and fuck, this Raw was just not good.
I was just gonna transition into it that this Raw. Listen, there's a couple things that were good. The women's
Yeah.
fatal four way was good. The men's fatal four way was good. Little Marvel type moment at the end there with everybody coming in. But oh my God, you got to think. And this is how people are going to be fucking Snowden. No, I'm not trying to shit on the woman here, but I think we needed that Liv injury to break it up a little bit. Listen. I'm sorry, Liv. We were going to sit there for another, because they were really kind of dragging those breaks after that match, So like they were trying to fill like 15 minutes of time. They were losing me a little bit tonight, and it wasn't even any of the segments in general. Like Liv's been on fire. That would have been a fine match, but they were losing me. The pacing of the show tonight was rough. It felt like a 3-hour SmackDown, to be honest. The pacing was hard.
You know why the injury devastates me? Obviously, wish the best for
Wish
Liv.
the best for Liv. Yeah.
You know why that? Oh, this is the same exact water. You know why that injury devastates me, right?
Mm-hmm.
That just
yeah.
That fucks up the whole plan, baby.
Yeah, it does kind of fuck up the whole plan. I mean, dislocated shoulder seems like that. I believe that's what they called it out. Michael Cole said, maybe not that long out, but could be a couple weeks out. Tag team, those women's tag team titles, man, get rid of them.
There's only one team to save them, baby.
Natalya and Maxine. It seems inevitable. It seems like that was absolutely the route they were going. Probably Evolution, I would imagine. Maybe SummerSlam, either or. I guess that's going to be kind of the problem. I kind of said this in text to you that whatever along the lines I said that people are going to be so happy that they're having a women's tag title match at Evolution, but they're going to be bitching that there's not one at SummerSlam. And maybe WWE could split the shows up a bit better. There's a lot of just pay-per-views and PLEs thrown together, but I would say Evolution. SummerSlam's got a lot to look forward to. I would say most of the women's matches outside of the main two championships, and then maybe whatever you have with Naomi, Jade, and Bianca, everything else can kind of get pushed to Evolution.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're expecting a normal Raw review, that obviously is just not happening. It's my first Raw back. And there's going to be so much shit for us to get into on the podcast that, like, just think of this random stuff. Like, I mean, Becky Bailey gets announced for next week.
Yeah, that's just going to lead to Becky Bailey, Lyra, triple threat.
That's exactly
again, Evolution, SummerSlam.
Exactly what I was going to say. Probably that might be the fucking main event of Evolution for all we know.
Yeah, I guess it could be Intercontinental Championship. They don't really have Io in like a crazy thing right now. Tiffany, Naomi, Nia. What else do you have main event?
Yeah, like and
Yeah,
like name wise, like you're not going to do Rhea Raquel,
no,
which seems to be some sort of matchup. And at the same time, with SummerSlam being so close, like you're going to have those title matches at SummerSlam as well. So it's like, what really could main event Evolution? I mean, name wise, who else? Honestly, it probably was going to be the fucking Bellas going for the tag titles.
it could have been. I mean, they're putting the rocket on Stephanie. Maybe Stephanie Io. I don't know. Maybe, but whoever wins is going to retain. You'd imagine. I picture Jade, Roxanne, right? Jade wins, I'd imagine. And then we got Alexa, Asuka. I would say Asuka wins. Jade and Asuka probably at Night of Champions. I can see it going either way. I can see Jade winning to get herself in the mix with Naomi, Bianca, the briefcase, all that. I can see Asuka winning because Asuka versus Io is probably their line of thought before Asuka is said and done, I'd imagine. They want that match. If not at SummerSlam at Mania, a bigger pay per view, it would be Asuka versus Io. So what do you do? Io's got nothing. Is it going to be Tiffany Naya? Is that going to be the main event again?
It can't be. And then also like the winner, the Queen of the Ring,
Mm-hmm.
goes for the title at SummerSlam. So
Well,
it's
yeah,
not
that's
even
what I mean.
like,
Like Asuka wins the Queen of the Ring and then goes against Io at SummerSlam, perhaps. But then, so what do you do 3 weeks prior
yeah.
or whatever? It's
So
tough.
honestly, I think it's probably likely that we get Becky, Bailey, Lyra as the main event. Like that's really not far-fetched the more I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, whatever. The reason I brought it up is that fucking segment just did not that like it doesn't help that the story was so ungodly obvious
Yeah,
the
and just
moment they
bad.
from
It
the
was not
moment
the
they
good way.
showed Bailey knock down WrestleMania weekend.
Oh
You
God.
could have handed anyone a pen and paper and say, write out how the next 3 months are going to go, and it would
Yeah.
still be on that exact timeline, including what we said. Like, Lyra will win the first match against Becky, and then Becky will beat her, and then Bailey will. It's just like, it is. We say it all the time. Predictability, when done right, is still good. This is the example of the opposite, where just because it's predictable and it's being done right, this is not good. It's just,
It
it doesn't interest me.
It is not good. And it's no shit on Lyra because Lyra's been great. And it's no shit on Bailey because Bailey's been great too for the little bit of time she's really been around lately. You said it like anybody, you could have given them pen to paper and they could have booked this from Mania onward. You could have given me a crayon and a wet napkin and I'm still booking it. It was really like we did book it, and I'm sure we're not the only ones out there that saw it coming exactly how we did. But Lyra gets that one win and then Becky's going to win it and then so on and so forth. Whatever. I'm very over the Becky train. And there's a lot of great upcoming talent right now. Even though, again, the women's fatal four way, like I said earlier, was actually a very solid match. I enjoyed that match. I think Ivy Nile is a very underrated talent. It's about time Raquel gets some flowers because she had a great NXT run and then got called up and then kind of went away for her whole thing she had going on. And now the fans hate her. She's like fallen into that mix of wrestlers that the fans hate for no reason. So whatever. Stephanie, obviously on fire. Liv Morgan is on fire as well right now. Becky does nothing for me. Becky just seems her mannerisms in the ring, the way she's trying to walk with the swagger and talk with the swagger. When she was a heel under Vince, that heel run under Vince, big time Bex, even the man gimmick post the broken nose on the SmackDown invasion, that is like the moment in time where Becky started going downhill. That was the height of her whole run, was that nose break. Ever since then, it's been a slow downfall. And I used to kind of chalk it up to that Vince run. This was a Vince gimmick. Vince wanted her to do this, force the big time Bex. It was essentially the female Seth Rollins. It was a parody of what would be a wrestling gimmick, in my opinion. But we're seeing the same gimmick now. So, like, I can't chalk it up to that anymore. Maybe I just chalk it up to that Becky fucking sucks. I don't know. But that's what I think.
She just doesn't interest me right now. And the crazy part is, I mean, she was gone for a while, and
Yep.
it was like, all right, I mean, she's back. It
Didn't care.
wasn't the heart grew fonder with absence.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, look, she's got her moments, but right now it's just like it was so obvious what they were gonna do. It all was so obvious. The way you laid it out though is perfect. There's just so many interesting aspects of the women's division on
Hmm.
NXT, Raw, and SmackDown that like for all of it to just be Becky to potentially main event. And look, it may not happen, but I think it's going to. For all of that, just for her to be the main event would just be like, I'm not booing this because she's heel. I'm booing this because it's ass.
Yeah, I'm booing this because it's ass. It is major ass. I mean, I'm not sold on it main eventing. I mean, I feel like it's an obvious question to ask. Like, who is Trish going against? Is Alita coming back again? Like, there's going to be another big returnee or something. They probably get thrown into some tag team mix. I can see the Secret Hervis against so on and so forth, whatever. But that's another person, Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green's like kind of floating around right now, not really in a big mix of things. I don't know what you have main event evolution. I don't know. At SummerSlam, they're doing it King and the Queen of the Ring. I guess one of those matches, well, 2 nights, both those probably main event. I would imagine so. But Evolution's a little tough. Saturday night's main event. Goldberg versus Gunther's the main event. You're going to have a women's match on Saturday night's main event now, too? Or you're not going to? Because if you run 4 or 5 matches that are all
Probably
men's
not.
matches, the fans are going to have a fucking aneurysm. So
But it's
like
the night before,
it's
so
the
you're
night
probably
before. So
not.
probably not. And so what? You shouldn't then. If you're going to have this evolution right after it, they honestly probably should book evolution in a different month. It probably would fit better in a different time of the year, in my opinion. But whatever, is what it is. What else did they announce tonight? What
And
are
it
we forgetting?
also there's also an NXT show that same
Yeah, Great
Saturday as
American
well.
Bash. Yeah,
So, are you going to have the women's NXT title at the Great American Bash, or are you going
there's
to have it at Evolution?
there's enough women on the main roster now to do NXT as its own thing. You don't need the NXT woman on Evolution, in my opinion. You got two world
I mean
championships,
that
two mid
that
cards,
poster.
and a tag team title match. Yeah, the poster does indicate, and they've done it before. So I would not be surprised if they had JC Jane defend on NXT, but then they had the North American Championship Sol Rukas on Evolution, whatever it may be. One of those matches might make it on. But you got two main card titles, two mid card titles, and you got tag titles now for the woman. That's 5 matches right there. They've been doing 5 match PLEs. I don't even Evolution. I don't predict them doing 9, 10 matches. I imagine 6 to 7 though. They're probably going to want to get the names on the card. We'll get that throw in 6 woman tag or whatever, like I said. But I don't know if they indoctrinate NXT into this one.
I don't know. I feel like there was more that happened on this Raw, but it's all just a blur to me right now.
They announced Night of Champions. Dom defends the IC title against Styles. Yep,
Yeah,
cool. I'm
sweet.
for it. Yep,
Yeah,
yep. JD and Styles had a good match tonight too. Nothing too crazy. Um, yeah, I don't know what else.
just there was a lot of. It just felt like every time I looked at the screen, it was a commercial.
Yeah, the pacing again was really off tonight. It was really off. I don't know. Tonight kind of dragged. We all kind of knew Goldberg was coming too. I think people were a little let down with the Jay introduction into the Fatal Four Way. I think it would have been a bigger moment even if it was just not announced and his music just hit tonight. That would have been a better moment. Everybody wanted Elia back. He'll be back sooner rather than later. Don't get me wrong, but Elia was also a guy. I just got to mention this. That was like incredible talent. I've loved Elia since he was in NXT UK. Not a lot of people were watching NXT UK. This guy was hardly on the main roster. So he's not like over with the fans like that. He's not in that casual audience group yet. And people were calling for him to win this tournament and go on to face Gunther and win the championship. Like, you gotta slow down, slow your roll with these guys. Like, he wins the championship, then what? He's got plenty of years left. Let him build himself back up. I don't understand it. Don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean it's. I just can't. I don't have the energy, the fucking any of it. Um, yeah, I got nothing. I'm just glad to be back. I would love to not be congested though.
That would be a plus.
That would be a plus. Uh, tune in to the podcast Thursday because there's going to be, man, we're gonna be fucking rambling because I
Rambling.
because it's the first one in a while.
It's gonna be
So,
the easiest podcast we've done
oh
yet.
man, that fucking hour is gonna fly by. Uh, yeah, tune in then, and then guess what, people? I'm back, and then I'm gonna miss SmackDown because I work again. So, bye.
Like and subscribe, or you're a coward.